Everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I am back with another video, and this time I'm going to be doing this really cute set of money nails. So I've already prepped the nails and applied the nail tips. So now I'm just going in and shaping the nails. And as always, I'm using a 100-100 nail file to shape them. And since we're doing a coffin shape, we're filing the sides at a 45-degree angle and the free edge at a 90-degree angle, exactly a 90-degree angle, to make sure that they're super straight. And then also we blend the nail tips right in the middle where the natural nail and the tip meets. That way, whenever we apply the acrylic, you're not able to see that small line and it looks a lot more natural. So again, filing the sides at a 45-degree angle and filing the free edge at a 90-degree angle. And then as you can see, I hold my nail file at a vertical angle when I'm filing the free edge. Alrighty, so once we're done shaping all of the nails, I'm going to just dust them off and I'm going to go ahead and apply the primer. So for that, I'm using my OPI Bondex. As you guys know, that's the one I use because I have a lot of it, but it works really good for me. I just apply it on the natural nail, making sure we don't get it on the skin because if they have any little cuts, it will burn them. And then I've already pre-cut the money and also burnt the edges on it. I will leave a link in the description of a link to the fake money. And again, you just cut whatever little pieces you want out of it. And after that, I went ahead and just apply a layer of acrylic. I'm just using my Mia Secret clear acrylic. And I'm also going to be using some gold glitter that has some little gold flakes in it as well. I'm going to apply that around the edges because I'm going to be applying the money right in the middle. So I applied the glitter on the outside. As you guys know, to pick up the glitter, I dip my brush into the liquid and into the powder, get a small bead, and then grab the glitter. And then to place the money, I just apply a little bit of my KDS glue. And sometimes the glue will get stuck, or the money will get stuck to your fingers, so make sure that you're careful. But again, I just apply a little bit of that glue, place the money right over it, and just glue it down. One thing that you do want to make sure that you do is to make sure that you have the money on the nail as flat as you can. That way it doesn't come out of the acrylic or you don't have the acrylic crack or anything. So make sure that you pat it down as much as you can. And then after that, I'm going to go in with my clear acrylic and I'm just going to encapsulate that. Remember, when you're encapsulating anything, whether it's glitter, whether it's angel foils, or even money, you want to make sure that the acrylic over the top is thick enough to where you're not going to file away any of your glitter, your money, whatever it is. So make sure that, again, your acrylic is thick enough. Again, this is my clear acrylic by Mia Secret. This is my alpha brush and a number 9, and I do have a promo code for them, so I'll be sure to leave that down in the description. But the way to know if your acrylic is thick enough is literally if the money is not sticking out of the nail anymore, it's like completely inside of the acrylic, then you know that you're good to go. And also making sure that you have a good apex and that your nail tip is thick enough. So again, I pre-cut the money, and before I've done looks where I don't burn the edges, but I feel like it gives it more detail when you burn the edges of the money. It gives it a little bit more of like I don't even know what I would call it, but it just makes it look a lot better. But again, before we apply the money, we do a layer of acrylic, which is the clear acrylic by Mia Secret. Then we apply the glitter, and you don't have to do glitter. I mean, you can do anything that you want underneath, whether it's just foil or if it's like a different color glitter, that would be fine too. And then I know the picture that inspired me to do this was actually I think they use weed or something, but I hate the smell of that, so I wasn't using it. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one off. As you can see, I tried placing this one right over the top of the wet acrylic, and it's still not going to work as good, so I had to go back in and apply some glue. And then again, it is going to be a little bit hard trying to get the money to stick to the nail, but you have to just kind of mess with it and pat it down and get it on there as best as you can and as flat as you can as well. And then we're going to go ahead and apply a little bit more glitter around the money, and then we're going to come back and encapsulate that. So it's going to be pretty much the same thing for all of the nails, because I'm going to do a little money thing on each nail, and then on the ring fingers I'm going to just be doing the gold glitter on those because I'm going to be applying bling. She did want a lot of bling, but I feel like it was going to take away from the money, so you will see me apply just a few on the rest of the nails with the money once we get to the end. Alrighty, so as you can see, that little piece was hanging off. So another thing you want to make sure that you do is, if any little piece of money is hanging off the nail, go ahead and cut it off before. That way you don't have to worry about the acrylic not laying on really good. So again, make sure that nothing is hanging off the nail before you apply the acrylic, and then come back and encapsulate it. But make sure that the money is on the nail really flat, and that's going to help you have a smooth application. And then also, just a minute ago, I had somebody on my Facebook group asking about like being able to apply the acrylic really smooth without any bumps. You have to make sure that, for one, you're using the correct liquid to powder ratio. You don't want your acrylic to be super dry, because if not, it is going to be hard to stroke it out and have it, you know, lay down really smooth. Another thing could obviously be your brush. If there's acrylic stuck in your brush, anytime you get more acrylic and lay it on the nail and like brush it out, it's going to keep getting stuck to your brush, so that's going to cause lumps. Another thing could just be your acrylic. Your acrylic might not be good. I know whenever I first started doing nails, like the very first time I did nails, I used the little Kiss set, and that was just horrible. Like every little bead was bumpy and lumpy, and it was just terrible. So it could be your acrylic. And then also just making sure that you brush out the acrylic really gently. If you brush down super hard, you will cause those bumps and lumps. So just keep that in mind when you're applying your acrylic. But I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of the nails. But again, same thing, same process for all of them. We apply a thin layer of acrylic. We come back and pick up the glitter, place it on the nail, place the money, and then encapsulate that with the clear acrylic. Alrighty, y'all, so we finished applying the acrylic. Now we're on the last nail. And remember also that it's really important to go back and clean around the cuticle area to make sure that there's no acrylic on the skin. But anyways, once we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and reshape the nails. We're just using that same 100-100 nail file to reshape the nails, and we literally do the same thing that we did when we first shaped them, which was following the sides at a 45-degree angle and the free edge at a 90-degree angle to make sure that it's nice and straight. And also make sure that when you're doing this, you're holding your client's finger really nice and firm. That way, you know, it's not wiggling all over the place, and that way you can get the perfect shape that you want. So once we're done reshaping the nails, I'm going to go ahead and go in with my e-file, and I'm using my medium drill bit, but of course you can just use your fine one. I think I mentioned this before that I'm using this one because my fine one is a lot more coarse than this one. But as always, we first file around the cuticle area, making sure that we seal that area really nice, because if not, any little moisture, water, just anything that gets trapped underneath the nail will cause the nail to lift. So as you can see there on the pinky, you're able to see where the cuticle is, where the natural nail is, and where the acrylic is. That way we know that the acrylic is not on the skin. So when I say that, I don't mean that there necessarily has to be like a huge gap in between the cuticle and that acrylic nail, but just like literally a tiny, like probably the size of a hair. That's how big it's gonna be, just enough to where you're able to see the natural nail underneath. So make sure you go back and forth around that cuticle area, and then of course just go back and file the rest of the nail as well to make sure that it's all nice and smooth. And then of course, if you're a beginner and you're still unable to apply your acrylic nice and smooth, then you do want to make sure you spend a little bit more time filing the rest of the nail to make sure that it's all smooth. And then you also have to come back and buff. Alrighty, so now I'm just going to go in with a buffer and we're going to buff all of the nails. Remember, when we're buffing, this is just to get rid of any of the scratches left on our nail from the e-file or the hand file. So we're just making sure that they're all nice and smooth. And then as always, I run my thumb over the top of the nail to make sure that it's pretty smooth. And if it's not, I come back and buff a little bit more. And after this, we're just going to dust the nails off. You can have your client go wash their hands, or you can simply just wipe the nails off with an alcohol wipe, whatever works for you best. Alrighty, so I'm just wiping the nails off with an alcohol wipe, and after that I'm going to be applying some bling. So I'm going to be using some green pieces as well as my AB, SS6, SS12, and then some other AB pieces. So I use my hard gel for the big pieces, so I pick them up with my wax pencil, place them right on top of that hard gel, and just make a little cluster. And remember, since this is hard gel, it does have to be cured. So I'm going to cure this for 30 to 60 seconds, and I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing on the other hand. Again, we're using the hard gel for these, and then for the other small ones, I'm going to be using my Mia Secret gel resin, and then I'm going to still be using that same wax pencil to pick up the bling. And then y'all, look at that middle finger. Like, I love that one. I guess because it's like that bright green, it just pops a lot. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and cure that one, and then I'm gonna go in with the Mia Secret gel resin and just apply a few rhinestones around that big cluster, just some going like from the middle over to the left corner, and then we're also going to apply some at the top. Remember, the Mia Secret gel resin does have an activator. So basically what you do is just spray the activator once you apply the bling, and that activator would just help the bling dry a lot faster, or help the glue dry a lot faster, because since it is a gel resin, that means that it's going to be a thicker consistency, which means that it's going to take a little bit longer to dry. So I would recommend the activator, and I just feel like it helps the bling stay on a lot longer. So now I'm just going to go through and do the same thing to the other one, but before that I'm going to just be applying a few other rhinestones on the rest of the nails. Again, I didn't want to do too much because I didn't want to take away from our money, but she did want bling on all of her nails, so we got to do what makes them happy. But I did just enough to where, you know, they're still really pretty, but a lot of them are just gonna have them like around the cuticle area to where it's not covering up any of the money pieces. Alrighty, so once they're cured, I'm just gonna apply some cuticle oil and just gently massage it on their cuticles. And here is the final look. They turned out so pretty. That money green and that gold and that bling just all look so good together, and I just am in love. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram at GetNo32, and I'll see you guys next time.